but I like how they had that little freaky banter. It was classy, but a little freaky. I said, oh, okay.
I mean, just because you get older don't mean you did. You know, I mean, you can't do stuff.
But
Because I know I plan on doing stuff when I still get
honey, of course, I do. But Booker was being...
Hey everybody, what
how
up,
you doing? What up, though?
Thank you for tuning into Clink, the recap. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in again to Clink with Cam McKay.
Yes,
she is.
I am Cam. I am popping this gum, and my lip gloss is popping too. But I'm Cam, and there's my sister girl. Yes,
Okay,
you see that K around her neck? Let you know who she is. What up, though? We coming to you live from Detroit.
All right, y'all. So we are wrapping up Johnson season 3.
And when we say wrapping up, we wrapping up because we're doing 7, 8, 9, and 10.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
In one shebang.
Quattro episodes.
Shebang.
Okay, so those of you who just tuning in to us, because we know we have a lot of subscribers now, new subscribers, I should say,
growing every day. Tell your friends.
And on Tuesdays, we drop a recap of shows that you should be watching. Okay, we bring you some good shows. If you have not heard of them, you're going to want to watch them. Okay.
Yes, and especially this one.
Yes.
Because I tell you, honey, I think this whole season I have lived, I have learned, and I have loved every minute of Johnson's.
Girl.
Not because the men are fine, but because the writing and the messages.
The subject matter is good. God. The acting is great. The production is great. Like you said, the writing is great. It's just
it's a great show. Animal.
And we just want everybody to watch it because we always complain about how there's no
quality
representation for the Black folk, and like you said, no quality stuff. But this one is quality.
Yes, and they are representing the Black man. They
are. And it streams. It comes on Bounce. It's a Bounce original. But you can catch seasons 1 through 3 on Hulu and Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And on Bounce, season 4 is going to drop August 3rd.
And we cannot wait.
And next week, we are going to start on a brand new show. It's called Diara from Detroit.
Because we got to represent the D.
Come on.
All right, Diara girl. We got you. We coming.
And that streams on BET Plus. So, y'all, if you have watched it already, tune into our recaps. Okay. If you have not watched it, go watch it. And then tune into our recaps, okay? All right, Cam, you want to start us off?
Okay, as soon as my iPad want to open up. Okay, we start with episode 7. So in this scene, the scene opens up and Jervis is sitting there and he's waiting for, of course, the bros to show up because usually that's how they do. They get together at a place and chill. So, of course, Keith with his silly self, he says, I bet he wants to make a bet that $20 that he's going to be, that Greg's going to be late as usual.
And then Jarvis like, no way. He was like, Omar is. So they made that bet. And guess who walks in?
Omar.
Hey, Omar. Hey, Thomas.
So Omar walks in, then Greg shortly comes in after. And so Jarvis gets a little sentimental and he starts telling the bros all the things that he admires about each and every one of them, and that he has seen their struggles. He has seen what they have gone through. And I love how he breaks down to each one how he feels about them and their qualities as men. I think that's important that men validate other men.
Yes. So while he, like Cam said, he expressed how much they mean to him. He asked, who did he ask first? He asked Greg first, what is that you want to do? Like, what is your dream? And he says his dream is to go to culinary school. And Jarvis asked, okay, what would that take? And he said, hell, like money.
He like 50,000,
right? So Jarvis, took out an envelope and he hands it to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
and it is $50,000.
Yes.
They look surprised. They're asked if he was dying.
Yes, was he
I mean,
dying?
that's only right. Like, you know what
Like, what's going on? I mean, if your bros come to you and start handing out money like that, you would assume that they are,
I'm saying? Right.
something's happening.
Right.
And then he lets them know, no, he was like, I'm giving you this because he said, I'm giving you each $50,000 because I have watched you as my brothers struggle, strive, put your nose to the grind and do what you have to do. And you never ask anybody for anything. So again, he's validating them and saying, I appreciate y'all and I
Yes.
love you guys.
And the 50,000 came from the settlement that he had with the police officer, suing the civil suit with the city. So he received $400,000. So they didn't feel too bad about it. Like, oh, okay.
Okay,
So
like
especially
yeah.
after he told them, because they was like, what's the real reason? He was like, so Lisa won't get it in the Detroit in
Yes.
the
Divorce
divorce settlement.
settlement. So the brothers was like, oh, but he did also express that he's gonna donate money to other charities.
Yes.
But under no circumstances was he gonna let her get all her hands on all that money.
At all.
And with that, I say, Jervis, let's clink to that. Clink.
Clink.
That's
Okay.
right. Be smart. Be smart, people. Put that money up.
That's right. So next we see Keith. He is at the record store, and wasn't it Rodney Perry? That's the comedian. He's the record store owner. So he's talking to Keith, and Keith finds out that the record store is going to be closing due to gentrification.
Yeah.
They're raising the price,
and he also asked for an OJ's record, and that he the record store owner's name is Barry, and Barry tells him, he's like, you know what? This is baby making music. Are you sure that you are ready for that? And so then they get on the subject of why the store is called Barry. And so all this time, Keith thought that the store owner's name was
right,
Barry,
but
it wasn't. He said that he named the store Barry because what's his name? Barry White stepped on his foot at a concert, and so he took that as an epiphany as that he should name the store Barry.
Right, Keith was like, "You let me call you Barry all these years." He was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, but he tells Keith that they're going to close the store and make it either a liquor store or maybe even a dog park.
Yeah, dog park. Yeah, I was like, "That's."
He was like, "So you standing in a spot where there might be poop one day soon."
Yeah. So Booker is meeting with his lady, aka Miss Sherry. I believe her name is Sherry,
Sherry.
Keith's mama.
Yeah.
And they're at a restaurant, and
I think they are so cute.
They are cute.
It's a great
She's
dynamic.
Pretty. She's really pretty.
Yeah, it's a great dynamic to show that there's love after 50, even though I do think that they are slightly older than that, but we'll keep it a little
especially Earthquake ass.
Right.
Come on.
We understand.
Or he might be on the tail end, maybe.
No.
Oh.
Oh, but anyway.
Well, I think she was talking about her though. She said she never thought that she would be back dating, in her 50s.
Imitates life. We still love the show no matter what. But I like how they had that little freaky banter. It was classy, but a little freaky. I said, oh, okay. Oh, Sherry.
Just because you get older don't mean you did. I mean, you can't do stuff. Because I know I plan on doing stuff when I still get.
Honey, of course. I do. But Booker was being rude and disrespectful. Being cheap about the drinks. And she was kind of giving him the side eye like, brother,
and
for
that's
real?
His boy's place. That's Eugene's place.
Girl, that tripped me out. So she was really giving him the side eye. And then after she told him that she didn't have no panties on, then he bought all the drinks that she wanted.
Right. Omar is talking to Caleb, right?
He's picking him up from school.
No, they're on the porch. They're porch eating dinner, and they're talking about the football game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Omar is just letting Caleb know, that he's trying to set him up for the big
life
blow.
after football. Don't you want to go to college?
They want just to seek education.
What else do you want to do?
Yeah,
he's like nothing. I want to play football.
Right, because you know that Naomi is on Omar for having him speak to him to quit the team. I'm like, that's bold.
But Caleb is so adamant, and he's telling him how he loves football, and there's nothing else that he would rather do.
Yeah. And then Caleb spilled the beans that Mr. Stephen picked him up one time from school. And Omar then he got mad. He didn't take that quite lightly.
He said, "Why didn't you call me?" Because we know that Omar had a situation with the preacher, and he is very protective of Caleb. He like, I don't need anybody picking you up. I got you.
And plus, that's his damn daddy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he's offended because he's like, why would she
Yes.
tell another
Right.
man to
It's
pick up
like
my son?
exactly like
Like
because
I'm
he's
not
in his
available.
life, right? Oh, Naomi was fine
She
for that.
she a trip.
She,
She lucky Omar didn't have no sister because if I was a sister, she might have got a little talking to.
Right. So Greg is in the kitchen. He is looking at some YouTube videos. He went down a rabbit hole about black fathers because we know from the last episode that Wanda and him they plan on having a he planned on donating his sperm.
Honey, Wanda's still a trip in this situation because Wanda don't want the man; she just wants the baby.
His sperm, yeah.
And I think it was a really good issue to bring up because now in the society that we live in, a lot of women just want the baby and not the man.
I mean, well,
and in this situation, it goes to show he does it in a different light, but he's really digging deep because he knows this is a decision that could affect the rest of his life.
It's a big
and
decision.
So he's listening to a lot of statistics and different things on black fathers and the importance of them being in the home with their children
and the importance of a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
So while he's in the kitchen looking at those YouTube videos, Jarvis calls him and asks Greg to hang out. He said he can't because he's going to deposit his sperm in the morning.
Early,
and he has to, be well rested. But he tells Jarvis that he's getting cold feet. Yeah. And Jarvis says, well, it is a big decision. Make sure this is what you want to do.
Right. So after they hang up, Greg intently stays up and he watches more videos about this whole thing because I love the fact that he is really thinking things through.
Yeah, he is. Not just going into it haphazardly.
I'm not letting Wanda trick him with that punana and the little coke and anyway.
So the next thing we see, we're at the radio station. Eugene's and Queen, they're on their show. They're talking about the value of a man. And Booker and Sherry, they're in the car. They're actually listening to the show. And guess who calls in?
Keith calls in. And he told what's his name? He told Eugene. He's like, how you hooking up? You are not a matchmaker. You had no right to be trying to hook my mother up with this Booker guy. Who is he? And he starts going off on Booker.
He starts going off. And Miss Shirley, she is hot. She was like, "Ooh, wait till I see him." Girl, why did Earthquake was like, I know somebody that can take care of him. She was looking at him like
she gave him a side eye because at the end of the day, that's still my son. Exactly. Don't get it twisted. I don't care what he's doing.
Right.
So then we go on now to episode number 8.
Yes. So Miss Sherry goes over to Keith's house.
She knocking on the door like she is the FBI. Right. Do you hear me?
And he trying to hide. He know that's his mama. He knows she mad.
He's scared. He is scared because she is not happy. She told him he had 5 seconds to get to that door. And he says under his breath a little smart little thing. And she said, "Oh, I hear you." So he said, "Whatever happened to a mother's unconditional love?" Because she's pissed. And I would have been mad too.
Yeah. So Miss Sherry just saying to Keith, she said, "Why are you trying to sabotage my relationship?" And explains that because Keith is just, like a son is.
When you're
used to it's just you and your mom growing up, and
she's been by herself all her life.
She said it's time for her to, like Booker treats her well. She's happy with him.
So she told him also, I sacrificed my whole life to raise you, and you are a grown man, and it's time for her to put herself first.
I mean, he got his boo.
Right.
Quit being selfish.
And she tells him to lay off a Booker. Lay off my man. You hear me, boy? You hear me, little boy? You hear me? So then it flashes back to Omar at the bank. And
Greg and Wanda in the car. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Greg and Wanda in the car.
Okay, Greg and Wanda are in the car, and she is just gushing. She's like, "I just want to thank you in advance so much for what you're trying to do," and da. And he's like, "I'm a little tired," and she like gets snitty with him. Well, you know you were supposed to get some sleep. I'm like,
girl, like number one, he's doing you this huge damn favor.
She is really selfish. All
She's
she
like,
thinking
well,
about
okay,
is
it's
her,
on
herself, and that
myself.
damn baby that she wants so bad. Like, if you would have lived your life right, you probably passed up a good man who could have fertilized your
Ooh.
eggs the old-fashioned way. But you was a little bit too snooty because you was worried about your career. But we gonna read you another time. Don't lay off of Greg now.
Right.
And he tells her that he wants to be there for his child, and she got attitude.
Yeah.
Could you believe that?
Yeah. You know what?
All these.
I can because he told eventually he just told her he can't do it because he really, like you said, he really wants when he does have a child, he wants to be there in the child's life and wants to be with the woman so they can have the child can have a good upbringing. And she gets really upset. She was like, "You was just happy, yesterday. What happened? What
But he's
changed?"
like, it's very important for my child to see what love is between his two parents or their two parents in a two-parent household. And that is very important in a relationship, is that a child does learn love by example, by what they see, not by stories of fantasies and fairy tales, but by actual actions.
And one thing, and I had this in my notes. I said one thing I noticed about Deji with his writing, he always make it the point to say, because he said this when as his character to Wanda, he's like, men have feelings too. It's not just about our feelings, which is true because we do, it's like us, but and it's true though, the man has feelings too. That's what I really like about this show, because it is written from the male's point of view.
Yeah.
And and it make you think twice if you're a woman, like, yeah, you're right, because men do have feelings too.
They go through so many things that we ignore, and I'm so glad that he is bringing all of that to the forefront as far as how men feel.
Yep.
So
bank.
So it flashes back to Omar being at the bank. He goes in, he's excited to cash his $50,000 check. Of course, the Caucasian lady at the bank, she acts a little abrupt. She's like, "Oh, well, what do you do?" And da 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 da. And he goes back and forth with her with some banter. She tells him she needs to take the check and get things checked out, and she'll be right back. So he sits there, and she doesn't come right back.
Yep, she doesn't come right back, and so this is the part where she said she believed that the check is fraudulent.
Yeah, she said they can't. She comes back after 30 minutes. And he was pissed.
I could this scene, this whole situation made my blood boil, because I'm like, the audacity. But this is something that we go through as black people.
They don't think you're supposed to have any type of money that you can't be legit. And he pleads with her a little bit.
We can't
he's
have
like,
money.
He's like, you can't call and verify the check. And she's like, no, because how do I know that that's the right person on the other end of the phone? So basically, it was a lot of condescending, and basically she was being a racist, because if he was a Caucasian man,
no problem. He probably didn't have to have no ID.
Right. So basically he tells her, okay, well, give me my check back. And she says, oh no, we're gonna shred it. And if you basically show me any resistance, I'll get the authorities involved. Which is a really red, it's piercing to him, because he just got in trouble with the police. He don't want nothing to do with the police after everything that he's gone through.
And then you see that old, I hate to say Uncle Tom, because Uncle Tom is really not how. Anyway, but for the sake of this, the security, he was black and he all posted up. I was like,
looking like Uncle Ruckus.
Girl, right, his old ass. Like, what you gonna do? You see this beautiful specimen of a man?
He will knock you out.
Right. Okay, so Jarvis is at his bio dad's house with his brother, and Jarvis finds out that his dad bets on games and he lost $800.
He was not happy. He's like, "You betting on games?" And he's like, no, yeah." So he finds out that his father is a gambler.
And at this particular point too in this scene, Jarvis's brother asked Jarvis basically for his forgiveness.
He's like, "Are we all right?"
Yeah, and they made up, which was
but Jarvis let him know. He was like, "If you didn't have that badge,
right? Oh, it would have been on.
It would have been on and popping." And his face was straight up. He was straight up. But I love, even with that scene, how the brothers they understood each other, they respect each other, and you can see that they do love each other. And he just, shrugged it off, and they just move forward. I really like that. His little brother says, "I don't want no problems, man."
Right.
Like, we
He like, "Oh, big bro, gonna handle me." Jarvis like, "That's right."
So the next thing we see Omar walk into the cigar bar. He sees the guy that he saw
Stephen
Naomi
with his friends. All these brothers in here fine as hell.
The casting is wonderful.
Oh, props to the casting director. Okay.
Yes. So then he tells his employee, he's like, "Didn't I tell you that he was banned from here?" And the employee looks at him and says, "Yeah, but your uncle said that he wasn't.
And he cut my check.
He's the owner." And he was not happy.
So then it flashes to Keith is at the city council meeting, and he brings up, this the gentrification in the council meeting, and everybody was like eating it up. And of course, Councilman, what's his name, Garrett, Jackie's daddy. He tried to, he wasn't pleased.
He tried to hush him.
He wasn't pleased.
He tried to hush him,
silence him.
And so Keith got rude and disrespectful and brought up the photo of him with the Griffin group. And he said, "I thought that you were supposed to be protecting the community, but how can you protect the community when you're in bed with these people who are trying to destroy our neighborhood?" And he was not mad. He told him, though, "You need to excuse yourself. Due to the articles in order of your position." And he was not happy. I was like, "No, keep with your educated self. You better go on and stand up for your rights."
So it go back to the bar. Omar, because Stephen is at the bar, he's sipping, and Omar goes over there and
cognac with ice.
Try to talk to him. He had ice in him, right? He's like, "You don't like it
he's
neat?"
Like, "You watered it down, huh?"
Right. So they're trying to outman each other.
They had a pissing contest.
They did. Thank you. Yes.
And Omar lost until he beat his ass. But Stefan got really rude and disrespectful. He was like saying little innuendos, like him and Naomi goes to bed with lavender. You like that oil that she puts on her? I was like, well, damn. He broke it down. And
he disrespected him as a man. He really did. So when he said some things, Omar looked over. He took a bottle and hit his ass across the head and started wailing on him.
Yeah, because the last straw, I think, was when Stephen told him he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
I was like,
he did. But they were separated. But yeah.
Then we see Jackie. Yes. Jackie was at the meeting and Keith didn't know. And she is like gushing with pride that he stood up to her father, and she really respects him for that. And she really can identify with the things that he was saying.
Yep. So the Councilman Garrett comes over to the both of them, and he was asking Keith, he was like, "What was that in there?" And he's like, "I'm not going to recuse myself." And, just going on.
And he was like, "You don't have the power to do anything." He's basically trying to punk him.
And so he was like, "Come on, Jackie." So Jackie, and then Keith was like, "No, she's coming with me." So it was like, how they have like like a baby, they put it right in the middle and see who the baby comes to.
Yeah. But I love the fact how Keith was very gentle. He just kind of looked at her like, "I love you. I got you." His face said everything that his words did. And I was
know what? And when I first saw it for the first time, I was like, "Oh my God, she's gonna choose her." I thought she gonna choose her daddy. I was like, "Oh my God,
honey!" But she chose her man. Like, "Daddy, he can do things that you can't do." Honey. I like my Keefy boo. Yeah, I said, "All right."
And then he took and he was like, "Jackie." She was like, and she went over to like Keith and like hugged him. He was like, "Come on, baby." I was like, "Oh."
So then we go to
Gene. He addresses Omar.
He's talking to Omar about what happened, and I love Uncle Gene because he's very calm, he's very loving, but he keep it real.
He keeps it real. So he was like, he had to fire him, and Omar, which was rightfully so. He was like, "You could have took him to the back." He said, but you beat his ass in front of all these witnesses.
So he was really upset because he's like, you just got in trouble with the law. in all of these things. And he's like, what about your son? You got to make better choices when it comes to your son. And he told him he can't come back to the cigar bar. He
Yeah,
can't come back
he's
to work.
banned.
And he can't come there
He's
for any
banned.
reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes to the next segment of Spaghetti Junction. And I don't know why they called it that, but they called it that. So it opens up with Greg with 2 coffee cups in his hand. And the chef pulls up in his nice car and he gets out and Greg's like, I bought this coffee about an hour ago and I was just in the neighborhood stopping by. It's really cute because it's kind of like we are when we're kids and we're talking to our teacher that we respect. And he tells them, and he says, I don't really need that coffee because I have a coffee machine on the inside.
Right. It is a restaurant,
Right.
So basically, Greg went over there to apologize and ask for his job back. He said that he felt used, but he later realized that he was just trying to teach him. So the chef, he asked for his job back, and he got his job back.
Yeah, I love the fact that he took accountability. It's just so many different lessons in here. So Omar goes over to talk to his attorney friend,
Thirsty Robin.
So he gets her advice about what's going on, and she kind of, scolds him and says, that wasn't the smartest thing to do. And he might wake up in a couple of days. Stephen might wake up in a couple of days and want to press charges. So you just never know. She said, but your uncle had to fire you because of liability. And so then she leans her behind over and starts telling him, when we were kids in college and blah, 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 why didn't you ever try to talk to me? And blah, blah.
He was like, I didn't think you were feeling me like that.
And then she reaches over and tries to give him a massage. He flinched like he got burned or something. She trying to be all seductive. He like, what's up? And so she confesses her in admiration. She didn't want that D. She looked on shoulders.
She said, I have Robin and shooting her shot, which I don't blame her though.
She didn't, because he fine. Well, they've been friends all these years, and she just was wondering why he never tried to talk to her. He just.
But I like when she said this. This is exactly what she said. I wrote this down. She said, "I've always given you advice on your entanglements, but I never got the chance to be entangled."
So basically, you were a fly on the wall.
You just heard him getting it in instead of him getting it in with you.
Yeah,
Again, I do not blame her.
Yes, Robin, she moves in for a kiss, and he kind of pulls back a little bit, and then she moves in, and he go ahead and give her a little sugar.
Like, let me see if I'm feeling this.
And he wouldn't.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
He's still in love with his wife.
And then she tells him, but nobody knows you like I do. And he busts her bubble all the way
all
and
said,
he says,
Naomi,
I still love my wife. And he tells her, nobody knows me better than Naomi does.
Come on.
I said, ooh. So little girls, while y'all right here thinking that's your man and you want to play with fire, he's still thinking about her. Hallelujah.
So Greg is in the kitchen and he's really helping out. And he tells the chef that he should post his dishes on the internet. After, he's giving him little advice. He's like, you should put mustard in that. And he's like, what you know about that? Mm-hmm. And he just tells the chef that he sees like these people on TikTok, and they post their dishes, and he was saying like, you can do that too.
Yeah. So the chef thought that it was a great idea. Mm-hmm. So he said, hey, let's do it.
Put it on YouTube.
Yeah. So Robin starts.
Yeah, we already did all that. So
we did.
Jarvis,
we skipped ahead.
So
we did on that one.
Jarvis's dad gets in the car. I think we're the next one. Jarvis's dad gets in the car with Jarvis
and told him that he lost $7,000 at the racetrack. And Jarvis is pissed. He's like, "What do you mean?" And so he asked him, you can give me the money. I'm your pops. He tells him that Jarvis like, no, I'm not gonna be an enabler. He said because he's not gonna start the relationship off like this. Yeah, so he's not helping.
And pops get mad and he gets out the car
and he leaves.
He does.
Then it shows Jackie. She's helping Keith with his business. She's painting the wall
studio
so that they can get ready for his photo shoot. And she tells him she don't mind getting a little dirty. And he tells Jackie that he appreciates her standing up for to her father because he knows that it wasn't easy for her. Then Keith is served with papers that he can't operate his business without a license.
So she was like, well, hold up. You never got your business license? And he was like, "No, I didn't think I had to." I'm like, "Oh,
He
Keith."
didn't know how to take care of business.
But hello, what about Quantavious? He didn't know all that.
But again, it
I
was
love
another
saying that
lesson
name.
that if you have a business, that you need to get a business license to operate a business. Get your
Yes.
paperwork in the order,
Get your
black folk.
paperwork, y'all.
So Jarvis's father, Freddie, his real daddy, he go
Mm-hmm.
over to them people's house and he about to burn it
Girl,
down.
he's drunk. He's belligerent.
And he's hurt.
He's hurt. He has a big gasoline can. He poured all over their grass. He told them to come out. Basically, he was like, "You didn't apologize. You never apologized." He said, "All you guys did was make excuses. Oh, they were young. They were this. They were that." And basically, he was like, "You owe me." He said, "You can start off by giving me $7,000."
$7,000. He said we need to work something out. So but the bottom line was it wasn't about the money. He was hurt because he felt like they just got away with it scot free and he had to suffer. So he want to make them suffer too and get that $7,000.
Yes, it was two things that he wanted.
Yeah.
So Omar stops by Naomi's shop. She was closing. He just walks in and he was basically like, "What I tell you about not locking the door, at night?" And she was saying that she just the time got away from her because she's really stressed with this client.
She has a deadline coming up. So he tries to talk to her. I love the way he talks to her in
Hold up. I
kindness.
just want to say that dress she had on.
She was
She
slaying.
girlfriend, her hair is natural, right? She's chocolate sister, really pretty, and she had on this
Gorgeous.
eggplant plum dress that went all the way to the floor. Oh,
She be sharp all the time. They always have her dressed.
yes.
So whoever your stylist is, you get
On the show,
you
period.
get a 10 plus 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 plus
Yes.
20 plus 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 plus. Yes, but he always
Mhm.
tries to be very endearing when he talks to
Mhm.
her. So he's and she starts taking shots. She just cannot give
She's
this man
hurt.
a break. But
She's hurt.
she always hurt. Okay. Before she found out about the affair, she was hurt. She's
Well,
always
yeah,
hurt.
because he
But
wasn't there for her. She was going through
yes,
postpartum.
but she wasn't there for him either.
True.
So
But I'm just saying that's why she just like laughed because she's hurt.
I know, but hurting people hurt people, and
Yeah.
she hurt, and that's why she got hurt and was hurting him, and that's why he cheated on her ass and hurt her back. Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. Okay, so yeah, so episode 10.
Oh wait, so with that, basically,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
yeah, Omar was telling that Naomi was like, he said, "I heard that Steph and your friend, picked up
Picked up my
Caleb."
son. Yeah,
And
my
she
son.
right, and she was like, "What? I couldn't get him,
And I called
and I called
Stefan.
Stefan, and she said, "Did you talk to Caleb about football? Do I need to talk to have Kate Stefan do
Stefan.
that too?" I was
Now,
like,
when she
"Girl,
said that, I wanted to jump to the
girl."
TV and slap her. I was like, "Are you
That's where
serious
that
right
hurt.
now?"
That's where that hurt came out.
But why?
I
And he
know.
tells
And he was
her,
like, "Why are you trying to hurt
but I
me?"
love when he looked at her ass like a G. He said, "I'm not here to get you back." Okay.
Her face was like,
He's like, "I love you, but sometimes love just isn't enough." And then she tells him that then she feels stupid. You can see the hurt in her face, the
yeah,
disappointment in
yeah,
herself, because she's
yeah,
like, dang. And then she tells him, Stephen is a very powerful man. You need to be
yeah.
careful because he wanted your address. He like, give him my damn address.
Right.
Let's go.
Because he said, he just let her know that was not right. He said, "What if I had some woman pick up Caleb?"
If the shoe was on the other foot,
And
she
that's
couldn't have
when she
handled it.
realized, she was like, "Okay,
Mhm.
I'll talk to him."
But where her mom and daddy at? She needs somebody to talk to her ass. They
Remember
need to
her
bring them in.
daddy? So she have issues with her daddy.
Yeah,
So
that's why she got issues with Omar. So anyway, Jervis pulls up and he tells his parents, what he Jarvis pulls up,
to
his
the
parents
house.
tell him what's
Yeah.
going on, and he handles it. He intervenes just like he should, and he tells him what happened wasn't his fault. That's what he tells his real daddy. He's
Yeah.
like, what happened with the whole situation is not your fault. And I think no one had ever told him that because
Yeah,
his
because
wife,
his wife blamed him
she
for it
blamed him to
all
the day
those
she
years.
died.
Yeah, and he was carrying not just his wife blaming him, but he
He
blamed him all
himself.
that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so he did let him know that's not his fault, and that he would give him the money.
But I love the fact that Jervis looked at him and said, "You my father, and nobody can ever take that away from you." And whoo, that was the reason for that pain, girl. That was the reason. So now we go to episode 10,
Hey.
social distance.
Oh Lord, Caleb. Okay, so Omar pulls up to get Caleb from school,
He
right?
needed his ass whooped, but go ahead.
So Caleb's all geek, like, yeah, I'm all good to play. Next week, coach said this, that.
I'm all healed up.
I'm all healed
Let's
up. Let's do this.
go.
Let's do this. I'm be MVP. I'm ready, Dad. I'm ready.
And the guy that he's playing right now, he think he trying to take my spot, but he don't know. I'm back, baby. I'm coming to get what's mine.
And then Omar pulls the okie doke and was like, basically, bro, you can't play no more.
Your mother and I talked about it.
He was like, who idea was it? I like when he said, like, it was your mama's, but we are united front.
Caleb was upset because he was like, Dad, you didn't fight for me. You know how much this means to me, and you didn't fight for me.
Yeah, I felt that.
He was like, I've done everything that you guys said. I keep my grades up. He said, and he just started running down. She's a helicopter parent. He can't watch TikTok. He can't do this. He can't do that. He can't. And that was another great issue, because a lot of times parents have all these rules where they won't allow their kids to do anything. And then you tell them, if you do this, then I'll allow you to do this. And then you lie. Don't do that to your babies.
Yep. And Caleb said some hurtful things. Ooh. He said some hurtful thing. He told his dad that because he said, you treat me like a little kid. Number one, I'm like, nigga, you are a kid. but number two, he tells him that he hates him.
Girl. And then he says, I overheard my mother on the phone tell somebody that she hopes that I don't grow up to be like you. And now I understand what she means. And then he gets out the car.
He gets out. Where you going?
She snatch, just a little snatch.
I'll be like, look, I don't care how mad you are. You better get your little ass back in this car.
In the car,
okay. You can not talk to me or whatever, but get in this car so we can go.
Oh, that was just, that bothered me, because I was just like, okay, but we're gonna let you have that. So then it goes on to show that Greg goes to the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization because he feels like he needs to give back to the kids.
And when I was watching it, their interview with Angela Yee, that's the real place, because he said he likes to highlight different things. I'm like, you better, Deji, go do your thing.
We like you, Dave.
I know.
We do. Okay, go ahead. But he says he wants to become a big brother, but he said he wants to make a difference in a child's life. And I love how when he talked to the facilitator, he told him, he said, I haven't been perfect. I have done things. But I stopped my life of crime after a certain age. But I was just mischievous child, and I was doing things. And so he wants to be, and the guy told him, he said, you can be a representative by being there, just a text, a phone call, and by being consistent. And that's what the kids need.
And I love when he said, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present.
Yes.
I like that.
That was very powerful.
That's to anybody. If you think that, I can't mentor, but you don't have to be perfect. You just got to be present.
And not present with presence, but present in being there.
Yes. So Jarvis and his dad are spending time together, and Dad invites him over to cook, but Jarvis says he has plans with his bros. And his dad said, that's nice. You have a good group of guys, and it's a coincidence that you guys are all Johnsons. So Jarvis was like, well, technically I'm not. But Dad was like, well, you are, because your grandfather was a Johnson, but your grandmother was being petty and named the child after her last name because they weren't married.
And I thought that was another powerful lesson. Just so many lessons in this, because so many women have done that and not giving their child the father's name for whatever their reasons may be. And if he's the father, because that's why we get all mixed up in life and people don't know who they are, because
I have my mommy's last name. I'm glad.
Yeah, but luckily your life went in a good way, because it's been situations. What if your dad had other kids and then you would have met your brother? That'd have been weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I like your last name though.
Yeah, I do. It's strong warrior.
Come, mama.
So they're walking and they see Tahir. I forget his name. In here, I think it's
the squatter.
Bobby, the squatter. So he's playing a 3-card Monty. And they walk over. Of course, Dad walks over because
He
he
a
gets
gambling
right.
man. He's like, I know this, I know this, I got this, I got
I
this.
got this.
So Jarvis is like, okay. He puts up that $100 and he like, are you sure?
Right.
Are you sure? He like, I got it, I got it.
Because the squatter and Jarvis, they recognize one another. He was like, you. So that's why he was like, that's why he asked his dad, like, you sure you got this? Because the buy-in was $100. So he placed $100. He's like, yeah, it's on the right. It's on the right. Child, he lost. That was a 3 of clubs. It was not the queen.
And he was not happy.
He was not. So he was like, I didn't have my glasses.
Right. I love the next scene is very enduring because now Jackie is kind of taking the place. She has taken the place as the woman in Keith's life, and she takes him to the laundromat to teach him how to wash clothes. And so he's like, he doesn't know what's what from anything because his mom is taking care of him.
Oh my God.
So I love the fact that she was teaching him how to wash, and she brought kettle corn and wine so they could have like a cute little date.
Laundromat date.
And she told him, yeah, remember what you told me? It's not the location, it's the company.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cute.
Yes. And that's so true. Because, man, y'all think, you got to spend X amount of grand, have these grand gesture dates. But a lot of us, I'm not going to say all of us, because you do have some gold diggers, but a lot of us, we just want to be with you.
I want to be loved, faithful, and true.
I don't know that one.
How did I get this chance? No. Tony Terry. Just to be loved by you. Oh, Lord. She don't know the That's the first Cam and Kane.
Wait, all I know, only thing I know from Tony Terry is with you.
Okay, anyway. Okay.
So, So we are back at the spot. Okay, where is another indie artist up there singing.
Oh, and can he sing?
Girl, yes. So at the bar it is Jarvis and Greg, and Greg is telling
Jarvis is telling Greg.
Jarvis is telling Greg about what happened between
at Anita and Wardale's house.
About the parents.
Yeah.
And let me go to my thing here. So and then Greg tells Jarvis that he's back working at the restaurant. What you going to say?
Nothing. I was just going to say Greg told him that he's a line cook now.
Yeah, he's a line cook, y'all.
Jarvis congratulated him, and then of course they have the shameless Royal Crown plug, and she gives him a shot.
I didn't see the Royal Crown.
Yes, they gave a shameless Royal Crown plug when she said, "I'll give you guys shots. Just give me make sure you take care of the tip." So then the bartender tells them what happened at the cigar bar with Omar. She tells how her girl told her, and they stand there like, huh? She's like, do you know? And they play it off like, yeah, we know. Yeah, the bottle. Right. Yeah. The bottle got fired.
Right.
Yeah.
So after she, walks away, they were talking amongst each other. They said, when was the last time you talked to Omar? And they said, both of them said it's been a few days.
Yeah.
So nobody's checked on the bro. So we go back to the laundromat, and Keith and Jackie, they're talking about.
They cuddled up. They booed up. Yes.
So she's talking about her daddy, and Jackie suggests that
they were just talking about what if.
But Jackie really suggested. She said that Keith really cares about people, and he knows like a lot of the stuff that she said my dad's seat is up for re-election, so
she was like, maybe you should run for it in a year. And he was like, really? And I love the fact that she believes in him.
She does.
And
she
Keith has flourished since he found a woman to believe in him. So men, don't take advantage of the woman who believe in you.
Yes.
So he tells her that
he suggests that they elope.
If they started talking scenarios first about what ifs, and they said about eloping, and she said her parents would be pissed, her father would be pissed, her mother would too.
But she said she's down.
But she said she's down for whatever, and so he proposes.
He proposed, y'all. He got on his one knee and proposed,
and started looking for the ring.
She said yes, and then she said, "Oh, where's the ring?"
In the dryer.
It was in the dryer in one of his pants. So while he's fishing for it, he gets a call from one of the bros, and he has to go. So they all meet up at Omar's
Omar's house.
house.
But what's so funny, I love the comedy of everything. They're knocking on the door. Omar's not opening the door, so they're looking for a key or
So
whatever.
Jarvis pulls out his key, and
Yes.
Keith was like, "Hold up!" He was like,
Well, first of
"Go
all,
ahead."
Greg was about to kick the door in.
He like, "He not trying to be Mr. T right now."
He's like, hold up. Like,
I
let me
got a
tear up the
key. I got a
property.
key.
Right.
So Keith was like, "Wait a minute, you got a key?" He was like, "Should I be jealous?" So before he can like put the key in, Omar, they're like, "Here he comes." So Omar comes out, and
he's like, "What y'all doing here?" He's a little irritated, just a little bit, and they explain to him that we haven't heard from you for days, and we're concerned about you. So what's up? So they start bombarding him with questions.
yeah, so they're talking they're all talking at once, and Omar is saying that yes, it's true that he hit the hit on the bottle, and he said he's heard it from everybody else. He don't feel like hearing it for them.
No.
And I love how Greg said, "Look, we're gonna talk about this." He said, "We're your friends. We're gonna tell you the truth, not only what you want to hear." That's a friend, y'all.
And I love the fact that it flashes back to the Ari artist, and he was singing a song, and the lyrics were
going back, girl. You peeped that too.
It said, "You
Go
don't
ahead.
know what I've gone through the last few months, and you don't know the tears that I've cried and what I'm feeling." And then it goes back to
them in the house sitting in the dining
having
room,
a convo,
a conversation.
Everybody,
because it keep flashing back. They're talking, and then it goes back to the artist. Y'all got to see this. Okay, go see this. It's really good.
They told him that you don't have to pretend like you have your life all the way together. That nobody has their life together, and they're talking about their issues and all the things that they're going through.
He said he hasn't been feeling like himself lately, and that he's just trying to push past it. And because everybody expect him, you can tell he's like the strong one of the group. And we know that we really do have to check on our strong friends.
Yeah.
You know, because even though they're strong, and we can get into the habit of, oh, they're gonna be okay because they're strong.
Even still wears thin.
Mm-hmm.
Even still wears thin. So they really are going back and forth and just having healthy banter and talking about a lot of different issues. And Jervis says that maybe.
Oh, wait a minute before we go there, because I really want to touch on this point. Because Omar was telling them that his life is spiraling out of control, and that he doesn't know how to stop it. And he said it's not just about Naomi. It's not just, he's a failed entrepreneur. His uncle fired him, and he said his son won't even talk to him. And I really think that's what really got him. Like,
that pushed him over the edge because his son has so much faith in him and so much love. That's everything to him. That was the one thing he had, and now he feels like that's been taken away from him.
Right. And then Greg says, "Well, okay, that sounds like you just have family drama. That's normal. Just get past it." And then
sometimes you can't just get past
things. And then Jarvis says, "Getting past it is not the same as dealing with it."
Yeah.
And then Greg said, well, go ahead. Say what Jarvis said.
I don't recall who said it, but someone mentioned counseling.
Yeah, that was Jarvis.
Jarvis mentioned counseling, and he said, "Hell, I need to go to counseling. I've just been through a divorce. I have to deal with all the stuff that happened with me growing up. What happened with my parents." And Omar is still kind of a little bit standoffish, and then you have Keith chiming in, and he's like, "Well, I'll go with you."
Yep. And then Jarvis said, "I'll go with you too." And then they all looking at Greg. He was, because Greg don't believe necessarily in therapy. He was like, I'll drop y'all off.
I'll drop y'all. I'll drive. So if that's the closest thing they're going to get, at least that's his way of giving them support. Yeah. And so
that is so touching. That
it goes back to the artist singing, "I don't deserve love," and it made me understand that a lot of Black men are going through this and they don't know what to do, because they don't know what love is, or they don't feel like they're loved. And when I say that with this lump in my throat right now, that is really hard. It is really deep that we don't always understand all the things that our men are going through.
That's true. So Omar agrees to go. He said, but I need to talk to somebody who looks like me. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very important. Some people
Yeah.
don't care, but I think that's really important because I feel the same way too. I have a black female therapist, so I'm like, because she can understand my plight as a black woman.
Other cultures cannot always understand what we're going through because I remember personally going through
Mm-hmm.
counseling after my dad passed, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy was like, "Okay, he
Was
was
he of another
probably."
culture?
I'm quite
Mm-hmm.
sure he was, and he was like, "You should journal. You should," and all the things he said I should do,
Mm-hmm.
I was already doing. So I just really stopped talking to him because you can't. You're giving me textbook. I need you to give me identify book, which means that you can identify what I'm talking about, that you understand my plight. If you've never lost a parent, you really can't
Mm-hmm.
understand. You can empathize and tell me what the book says. But you just when you're going to find a counselor, find the one that fits you. And if you
Yeah.
don't find it at first,
Keep
keep
looking.
trying until you do, because it's not a one size
It's
fits
not
all.
because you have to find somebody. Like I finally have the one that is phenomenal for me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she is just wonderful. I love my therapist. Okay, she is that chick.
Yeah, but
But
I just love the fact that, again, I really
mhm,
appreciate this dynamic
mhm,
about the healing, the wholeness, and
mhm,
the togetherness, that we all are here together for a reason,
yeah,
that we have to be here for one another. And this is really just laid out and displayed in Johnson.
yep. And then we close out with Keith telling everyone that he proposed to Jackie, and he was like, "Don't fight over who's
Who's
gonna
gonna
be
be
the
my
best
best
man."
man?
And they all trying to pass it off on one another, but they were just
Messing with
playing.
him.
And that's how it ended. And we can't wait till season
Yes.
4 on August 3rd on Bounce.
Yes.
That was
So
great.
it was great. This was a
Hmm.
great recap, and we're looking forward to more of the Johnsons. So, again, thank you for joining us on
Clink.
Clink,
The recap.
the recap. And remember, go on our YouTube page, All Things Cam and Kay.
Hmm.
You can also, if you want, leave us a message on
Yeah,
dot
speakpipe.com
speakpipe.com
slash
slash
Cam
Cam
and
and K.
K. If you've seen Johnson, just let us know what's your favorite part. Who's your favorite character? Let us know what you think about the show.
Yeah.
If you're a man that's watching this, I
How do you
implore
feel
all
about it?
men, especially black men, to
Mhm.
watch this show. It's a show for you.
It is. He
Okay.
wrote it just for you.
And it's
But I
great.
also think he wrote it for us
Oh
because I
yeah.
have gained so much
Hmm.
understanding through his
Oh
writings in
yeah.
this piece.
And I'm looking forward to season
Season 4?
4. All right,
Yes. Coming this
y'all.
summer.
Don't forget to like,
Share.
share, and comment.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll see you
Next
next
time.
week.
Bye.
Bye.